This is a watercolor study of a red deer stag, photo reference by Les Liddle, photography. A kneaded eraser was used to remove the graphite from the Canson paper. And then I used a flat brush to add a clean water layer to the paper for a smooth layer of yellow ochre to be applied in the background. I dropped some watery color green for a blurry background and in the grassy area. The first layer of the red deer stag was painted in yellow ochre as well, and then I used the color burnt Sierra light on the front side of the deer and on the top of the back. A watery consistency of neutral tint was used on the face, neck, and the deer's rump and hind legs. Sepia was added to the hind area for a darker color, and a second layer burnt Sierra light was added to the body of the deer. Yellow ochre was painted on the middle of the deer and body. As each layer is added to the deer's body, it is always painted in the direction of the fur. Pebeo drying gum is applied on the first layer of paint. Once it is dried over the grassy area, it is left to dry completely for approximately 10 minutes or more while other areas of the picture are worked on. A light gray first layer was painted to the antlers. A second layer of a darker gray was added to the face, and the dark areas of the eye and nose are painted in. The first layers applied to the deer's body and antlers are very watery because I would like a very smooth fur-like, which will shine through the additional layers that I add, with further details as each layer is added and dried completely. The shape and the form of the deer's body, hind leg, head, and antlers take shape and become more real with each layer. The first layers are just plotting the shapes, forms, and directions of the fur. With loose water and the additional layers, the final details are added. The paint contains less water and more pigment, and the details become tighter. The details I see in the reference photo are recreated on the antlers. Details of the ear, neck, and hind. The study of this painting for me was a deer, and I wanted to create an illusion of a blurry background with loose details. Lifting of paint occurs in areas on the hind to lighten areas and to correct the shape that I see in the fur patterns. As each area of the deer is detailed, the body transforms from a one-dimensional being into a three-dimensional animal and becomes part of the surroundings and looks more realistic as the process takes place. It was a real pleasure to paint this beautiful creature. The key to watercolor painting is to paint from light to dark and advance the medium colors so the picture goes from flat to wow. The antlers are remarkably interesting. This is my first time painting antlers, and the details can be compared to the bark of a tree. There are lines, bumps, and divots of varying colors. And the shades are recreated with grays, blues, burnt sienna until it most resembles the photo. The paint is lifted to recreate fur in the darker areas, and the shape is reformed by lifting the paint and repainting it in. The paint is now of thicker consistency and of more pigment to get the details on the fur and forming the shape of the deer's body. This is the part where you just sit back, relax, and just go with the details, looking back and forth from your painting to the reference photo. Here the details of the antlers are added in with the little bumps and divots, very bark-like. I'm trying to get the tail of the deer accurate. I use a Davy's gray and outline all the outlines of the antlers to try and fine-tune the edge of the antlers. It takes several layers to get the antlers to the detail that I like. It's a very unique shape. I noticed that there was the structure of the antlers. There must be like a fur-like substance on the top where it peels from rubbing against trees. Designer's white gouache is used to highlight the fur where the white of the paper has been lost in the rump and tail area. And so that it's not so bright, I add a layer of yellow ochre over top of this. I continue to work on the loose details of the backgrounds, suggesting different layers within the field, stones and trees and bushes to look at. But I don't want it to be detailed like the red stag deer, just very loose and suggestive. I hope that you enjoyed this video. Thank you very much for watching.